Tyler Shough named the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Shough is now the starter for the New Orleans Saints as the Saints head to Los Angeles, the city of angels, which is apt because the Saints are going to need a miracle. All right. This is Boot Crew Media. It's backdrop. Let's talk about it.
Future is now for the New Orleans Saints. Tyler Shough has been named the starting quarterback for Week 9. Let's talk about this move and why it makes sense right here on the Straight Up Saints podcast.
You're listening to the...
Okay, let me skip the intro here.
The New Orleans Saints, during Week 8 against the Buccaneers, benched Spencer Rattler in the third quarter. After a couple of turnovers, he had 6 turnovers in about 6 quarters of play.
All right, so before the game, we talked about, because obviously after the Bears game, it was kind of getting to that point of like, hey, do the Saints turn to Tyler Shough? And we talked about how, yeah, they were going to. It wasn't a question of if, it was a question of when. And we figured Falcons game would be the best spot. In all of those videos and all of that lead up, we mentioned the only thing that can change it is if Rattler implodes. And if things stay the same, if he plays at the same level, average to above average, whatever, they'll find a landing spot for him. And Rattler imploded. I mean, like Chris just said, whatever it was, 6 turnovers, 6 quarters, another fumble, a pick 6. I mean, it just got to the point to where when you have that little of leeway, when you have a second round pick right behind you and you're 1-7, just can't do it. Is it fair? Is it too quick? Is it, whatever. That's not for me to decide. That's for Kellen to decide. And Kellen has made his call. Kellen has made his stand. It is time to see what we have in Tyler Shough. Now, I've said a million times, I could care less who the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints is as long as they are good. I am rooting for the Saints. I'm not rooting for Rattler. I'm not rooting for Shough. I'm rooting for the Saints. All right, same with the running back. I don't care if it's Alvin Kamara starting or Devin Neal or Kendra Miller, as long as the best one is starting. I hope Tyler Shough lights it up, because at this point, like right now, making this switch, I think it does put him in a unique situation where if he goes out there and struggles against the Rams, I think people may have. I think it could be a weird situation for fans. It could be a weird backlash, because I think, unfortunately, some people believe Tyler Shough is going to come in and be the savior. And that's a lot of pressure to put on this guy. And I just want to remind everyone, he may be better than Rattler. He may end up being the guy. He may end up being whatever. But he's still a rookie quarterback. He's still a second-round pick. He needs grace, time, patience. He needs all that stuff. So if he does struggle against the Rams, I don't want to see people jumping on here saying, go back to Rattler. This guy sucks. Wasted second-round pick. This is it. This is a rebuild. This is exploratory. We got to sit back and wait and see what we got in him. And Kellen is you got to do what you got to do. You're 1-7. It's been ugly the last couple of weeks. The offense is averaging 16 points per game. This is about as bad as it could be, especially the last 8 quarters. The last 8 quarters have been as bad as possible. So I don't blame him for making the switch, and I hope Tyler Shough works out.
And Kellen Moore went to Tyler Shough. Did that fix the offense? No. I mean, they had 3 points the entire game. So the offense didn't get fixed. But Kellen Moore said, hey, I thought we'd give the unit a spark and go to Tyler Shough. And the question became, would this become permanent? Would they switch to the rookie? And the answer is yes. According to Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, every reporter in the business, the Saints are going to Tyler Shough. Apparently, he was informed of this decision today. This comes less than 24 hours after Kellen Moore said that the decision was going to be made soon. And look, I'm sure they're...
Yeah, I'll give Kellen that. He said, I'm not rotating. He's like, I'm not doing this whole back and forth, whatever. I'm going to make a decision. And he said, I'll make it within 48 hours. And he did.
Be some people that don't agree with the Saints going to Tyler Shough. I think at the end of the day, this makes a ton of sense for the franchise. They are most likely going to be picking top 3. And the only way they don't pick top 3 this year is if Tyler Shough ends up being a damn good rookie quarterback and they win games against the Titans, the Jets, maybe the Dolphins, games like that. But you see that you might actually have a guy that can raise the floor of the team. And
I think you can look at it from two different ways. You can look at it from that like long-term overarching, figure out what you have in your draft pick, go into the draft, top 3 pick, whatever. But on a really, and I always reference this, but sometimes it's easier to look at the team as if they're just a regular team. Don't look at them like your team. On a really like base layer, the team is 1-7. They are averaging 16 points per game. They have been leading for a grand total of like, the Giants game and then about 3 minutes. Okay. They have been ass on a stick in the first quarter and first half of games. They have spent the majority of the season doing absolutely nothing offensively, trailing in these games. Now, is that all because of Spencer Rattler? No. But that's the facts. And if you weren't a Saints fan and you didn't have a Rattler jersey or a Shuck jersey or whatever, if you were just watching this as another team, it would make total sense to change something, right? The offense is broken. The team as a whole is broken, but the offense especially. Again, 16 points per game. I think my Madden Saints franchise is averaging over 16 points a game, and I'm on 6-minute quarters, okay? Got to do something, and this is the something.
The only way to find that out is by playing Tyler Shough. And the odds are that won't be the case, right? The wide receiver room is not good. Tight end room, not good. Running back room, there's zero juice there. So just like Rattler had minimal help, Tyler Shough's gonna have minimal help. The play.
Yeah, I can tell you that. What this move is not going to do, make Rashid Shaheed any better. Make Chris Olave any better. Make Trevor Penning any better. Make Cesar Ruiz any better. It's not going to do any of that. So this is way bigger than one player or a quarterback or whatever. Definitely need to see what you have in Shuck. All that's fine and dandy, but this is not a team where all of a sudden it's like, all right, everyone's good, everything's fine, everything's been firing all cylinders. We just need to spark the QB position. That ain't it. All right, those guys are still who they are. The fumbles, the drops, Juwan Johnson is still lacing it up. Okay, they're all of a sudden not going to stop fumbling and dropping balls and losing contested catches and whatever.
Makers don't magically get better. But I do believe for New Orleans, you've already kind of gotten your answer as to what Rattler is and what he isn't. I think Spencer Rattler, when he's a game manager, is great. And I think he'd be awesome for a team that has all the pieces in place. I think back to, this year, Brock Purdy goes down, Mac Jones steps in. I think Rattler with the 49ers and their play calling, I think he can do decent enough to win games there. I look around the league, stick him on Philly's roster from last year. You're telling me he can't win games? Absolutely he can. The reality is, though, that isn't a franchise quarterback. If everything has to be perfect for you to have success, then that's not a franchise quarterback. And like I said, there's a very good chance Tyler Shough comes in and he doesn't play well because maybe he just doesn't have it. Or maybe because, similar to Rattler, you're not getting a lot of help from the playmakers on the Saints.
Chris talked about this about 40 seconds ago, and I agree. This is not, and it's kind of what I said, but this is not a like hark the herald angel sings, Tyler Shough is here to save the day. This is just kind of like, we're just going to find out, like one way or the other. And yeah, there is a chance that Tyler Shough could come in and not be good. And the good news for the Saints is that they're already not good. And if you got to go back to Rattler, you got to go back to Rattler, but at least you know what's going on. At least you're uncovering every stone. And Rattler is fine. Like, he could be a backup. He could be a spot starter. All that stuff is cool. You kind of do know what Spencer Rattler is right now. And again, if Tyler Shough comes in, he struggles, and all of a sudden you start playing Rattler again, okay, maybe the development, who knows? Like, that's another question for another day. But I think if we all had to answer, what is Spencer Rattler right now? What is the outlook of Spencer Rattler right now? I think we'd all have a pretty good guess. Like, I think we could at least fill in the blanks of the question, right? We can't do that with Tyler Shough. Now, you may have your own opinion of like, well, I think this is going to happen, whatever, but we just don't know. And for where this team is at and where this team is going, which is absolutely nowhere this season, it's worth it to find out. And Rattler held off, for long enough. He played pretty well early on, but the last two games were just too damn bad. And that Buccaneers game, I mean, people may say like, well, Rattler had 2 bad games, or he had, 5 bad plays. that Buccaneers game, very similar to LSU and A&M, where it was a different kind of bad, just like LSU and A&M. That was so bad, they had to fire Brian Kelly. Should that be the sole reason they fired him? Probably not. But if that game is close or goes differently, he doesn't get fired. If they lose in overtime, he doesn't get fired. Because of how that game happened, they had to do something. Because of how the Buccaneers game looked, I think the Saints had to do something. It was that bad. It was that horrific. And like I said, when you have a second-round pick, at backup quarterback, and Rattler had those plays, there's really nothing the coaching staff could do.
But the Saints have to get that answer. And I think at this point, you have 9 games left. Get an evaluation of this rookie quarterback. I think the worst thing in the world would be if the Saints held on any longer to the Spencer Rattler situation, kept playing him, and they feel the same about it, where they're like, he's okay, but he's not special. And then you go the entire season not finding out if Shuck is any good.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, the difference between 9 games and 7 games, or 9 games and 6 games, isn't that big of a deal when it comes to, the exploratory or finding out or whatever, however you want to term it. This is wholly off of how bad the Bucs was, how bad that game was. I don't think there's a huge difference in playing Shuck against the Rams versus against the Falcons, but I just think the coaching staff did not have a choice. They had to make a change.
And the funny thing is, Shuck finished his game on Sunday, and everyone's like, see, he went in and the offense looked exactly the same. The offense looked exactly the same. I think I would rather play the rookie who hasn't had first-team reps since August than the second-year quarterback who has had all the first-team reps since August. And what I mean by that is I think for Shuck, if this is how it looks now, there is a possibility, a slight possibility, that maybe it gets better. Whereas Rattler...
Oh, I'll tell you this. That ain't in the cards. If it just looks the same, if it's all just the same, if it's all just nothing changes for the rest of the season and it's just this bad, they're going to move off. They're going to do something. It's not like you got to remember, Rattler's younger than Shuck. So the idea that, like, well, he's a rookie quarterback, so maybe he takes a step, maybe he's does whatever. He's going to have to play well. He's going to have to show something. He cannot just be what Rattler was. That's not going to be good enough. He cannot just be, this team can't average 16 points a game. This team cannot do what it did against the Bears and against the Bucs. If Shuck starts throwing pick sixes and fumbling and he's just kind of lost, there's not going to be he is a rookie. Maybe he takes a step next year. They'll have to address it. So he's got to be good, or at least serviceable, or at least what Rattler was at the beginning of the season, where not turning the ball over, efficient, room to grow, I guess, but nothing bad. Like that's what he's going to have to be. But if it is what it was the last 2 games, if we're seeing turnovers and we're seeing all that stuff, that whole he's a rookie, he can take a step or whatever, that's not going to be a thing.
He is who he is, for better or worse. And again, he has cemented his spot in the league. He will be in the league for a long time, whether it's a low-end quarterback / bridge quarterback or a high-end backup. Rattler has stamped his spot in the league. Shuck has to show what he can do. I think that there is that added element of him being Kellen Moore's guy, where maybe we get more RPOs, maybe the ground game comes alive a little bit, maybe you take more shots downfield. I think the one thing that Shuck did a pretty good job of, granted didn't hit on the one that he had to Shaheed. You go back and watch the film, he was willing to push the ball downfield way more often than what we've seen from Rattler. Granted, it's 7-on-7s, pretty much in that situation where you're down as much as they were, and the Bucs are playing prevent, but he was still trying to take shots downfield even when they weren't there. So, look, I like the idea of getting Shuck in there. 9-game sample size. Boy, is it tough to play the Rams in your first game coming off a bye. That defense is going to be cooked
brutal.
Up. And I am really, really interested to see how Shuck plays in that scenario.
It's a tough spot. No doubt about it. You got the Rams off of a bye, really good pass rush, really good defense, on the road. It's a lot. You're going to be behind. You're going to be down. You're going to have to throw a lot. They're going to know that. They're going to be coming after you. It is not an easy assignment. they could have found a better landing spot. If it was me, I probably would have let Rattler go down on his sword in this game and then play Shuck in Carolina if you really want to make the change then. I've said it a million times, I would wait until the bye week, but this is a tough assignment for sure. And maybe the thought is, feet to the fire on the road. You don't have to deal with your home fans. Like, it's probably going to be a ugly game anyways. Just go survive it, learn, then turn up against Carolina. Then back in the dome. Like maybe it's like a baked in. Like, yes, it's okay to struggle, whatever. But yeah, I mean, this is not very difficult spot for Shuck.
But this had to be done, and I think anyone who doesn't feel this way, it's okay. Like I get it if there's like a loyalty to Rattler or whatever. The Saints got to figure out if this guy can play football. Because guess what, guys? If Tyler Shough stinks, Saints are drafting a quarterback in the first round this year.
Maybe, but yeah, I mean, you probably have to address it. It depends on who's there. But
and I know some people might not want that. Some people might say, "Hey, well, there's a talent deficiency elsewhere," and you would be correct. But it's a quarterback-driven league, and the Saints got to figure out if they have one. And the only way to find that out is by playing Shuck Sunday and all the ones after that until this season's over. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Do you believe Tyler Shough should be the starter? Do you like?
All right, so let's take a look real quick at how Vegas responded. So the number was 13.5 before the news. It looks like it's moving a point-ish. Now, this isn't all Tyler Shough, but I would say the market is responding negatively to this, which he's an unknown. He's a rookie quarterback. Like, this is to be expected, but I was interested to see how it would move. I mean, this makes total sense to move this way. Like, you're not gonna all of a sudden be like, this is a huge upgrade, go the other way. And let me say this, because I can already see it in the comments. I am not negative Tyler Shough. I'm not pro Rattler. None of that stuff. I'm a realist, and I understand what this assignment is. This is a rookie quarterback, second-round pick, 40th overall. This isn't the first overall pick coming in. This is the 40th overall second-round pick from Louisville coming in here on the road against the Rams. Do I think he's going to struggle, and do I think he's going to have some trouble? Yeah, it's his rookie year for sure. I mean, Cam Ward has been horrible. Okay, so I just do not think we're going to see that like savior bump spark. This is going to save the season. This finally it's here. We're good to go. I think it's going to be basically the same short term. I think it's going to be basically the same. I hope it's not. I hope he's awesome. I hope he hits the ground running. The offense starts scoring. That would be great for me. That would be great for the channel. Okay, but I'm trying to temper the idea that, this like, thank God, now we can start winning, or now the offense is going to be something that it might not be. So, again, I'm rooting for him. I hope he's great. Love him like a brother. All right. Everyone knows I love Dragos, but we'll see. Wait and see. Okay. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Where you at on this? My apologies if you're rocking a Spencer Rattler jersey. I listened to a voicemail this morning. My man said he has a gold Spencer Rattler jersey. Damn. Damn. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, get on down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.